It's funny because Keisha said that he was like,
350.
should I just
Oh, phone on. What up, man? Now we gonna talk that real shit. Real shit. They gonna.
Yo, what is indeed going on, people? And welcome back to the Jonah Pitney podcast. Of course, I'm your host, Jonah Pitney. But before we do start the official video, just remember to like and subscribe. And if you are a new subscriber, just make sure to hit the like button as well. And if you are a returning subscriber, hit the like button as well, and just make sure to keep the channel growing. Of course, we're talking about the Chicago Bears taking on the Minnesota Vikings. Of course, based on everything I've been hearing, and it's most likely true. The Bears gonna get their ass blown out when they go against Minnesota. Now, of course, I did. I'm listening to Molly and Hawk on 670 to score. Shout out to them. They was like, what are the chances that the Bears shock the world against the Minnesota Vikings? I give it maybe a 30% chance, maxically a 15% chance that the Bears win this game because they can't stop the run. Over the years, one of the main reasons why the Bears been able to beat Minnesota is because Minnesota couldn't run the ball on the Bears. Even I think even last year when they finally was able to beat the Bears and they beat them twice for the first time, and I don't know how long. It was what every majority of the players was hurt. Dalvin Cook just now started running for 100 yards on them, but stylistically, the Bears been having Dalvin Cook's number and been killing Kirk Cousins. But of course, most of that success came with the previous quarterback and the previous regime. So far, we just don't know what's going to happen in this game. Anything can happen because it did happen against San Francisco. A lot of people predicted the Bears were going to lose against San Francisco. I wasn't one of them. I thought they was going to beat them, but it's a different element. It's not pouring down rain, and they in Minnesota, so it's not out in the elements like it was in Chicago. But let's get down to the full breakdown of it. First off, Bears gonna have to be able to stop Dalvin Cook. Something that the Bears have not been able to do all season is stop the run. Of course, everyone knows that they're giving up 183 rushing yards per game. Once again, they are on pace to give up over 3,000 rushing yards. That's historically a lot. It's like third worst in the NFL. And I think the Bears already gave up something like that once before, like 175 rushing yards, like back in like 2013 when it was giving up monstrous amount of rushing yards every goddamn week, it seems like. And the Bears finished 8-8 that year. Only difference is they had a very good offense with Alshon Jeffrey and Brandon Marshall being the lead wide receivers. We don't have none of that. So the Bears got the worst wide receiver core in the league. They got some of the best running backs in the league, but it is what it is. You still have to be able to pass the football in this league. And even though the Bears have had Kirk Cousins' number, they also had very good corners, in that time period. Now, of course, Jalen Johnson, even though he's our number one corner over the past few seasons, he still has not been able to stay healthy. He missed a few games his rookie year. He's missed a few games this year. Well, he missed a few games his rookie year, last year, and this year. So it's like no matter what, the man can't stay on the field. So it doesn't matter that you are a dominant corner, but every time I turn around, he has soft tissue injuries, hamstring, quad injury this year. One year, I think it was a tricep or bicep injury. So it's like he's always getting injured. He can't stay healthy any goddamn way. So it's like it is what it is. Kirk Cousins will be able to find Jefferson out there, and he's probably gonna light the Bears up because in the career games that he has played the Bears, he's gone over 100 yards in majority of games that he's played the Bears anyway, and he's always been able to find a way to do his goddamn thing. And even though the Bears can't pass the football, they can run the football, and they've shown to be able to run the football on just about everybody. That have gone over 100 yards rushing in every single game. Now, the question is, will that continue in this game? That I do not know. I don't know how long they're going to be able to continue to sustain the success, especially in today's NFL. Yeah, they can stack 8 in the box, and still somehow the Bears still can run for 100 yards. But if you can't pass the football on a consistent basis, something that the Bears have not been able to do on a consistent basis, then guess what? The Bears will still lose the game. We saw it last week in a very winnable game against the Giants, who receiving core was depleted almost completely. They We already knew what they was going to do, run Saquon Barkley, and the Bears still couldn't stop that. That's how bad this rush defense is. So once again, they're going to still do just about the same goddamn thing. They're going to run um, Dalvin Cook down the goddamn Bears' throat, and the Bears is going to have to find a way to stop that. I don't think they're going to be able to do it. They still haven't been able to do it all season, so it is what it is. But offensively, the Bears is going to have to find a way. Like we already know that they're going to be able to run the football. They're going to have to find a way to pass the football down the field, much like they was able to do a little bit in the first half with getting Darnell Mooney the ball early, incorporating screen passes, whether that's wide receiver, running back, or tight end screens. Mix that in. They're gonna have to do a lot more short passes to try to get the defense to move up, so then they can try to hit Darnell Mooney with a deep pass down the field, or Dante Pettis, or one of those guys. Pringle, he's hurt, so he won't be there. Um, Try to get some more of the rookies involved that is offensive threats. Try to do something because this offense is putrid. They're dead last in the passing game, or if not 30th at least in the passing game. One of the worst passing games almost historically for the Bears. It seems like so far Justin Fields, based on what I've seen, I think he probably is going to end up with, he's on projection to not even throw for 2,000 passing yards as of right now. That means he's on his way to throw for less yards this year than he did even last year. So somehow he's gotten worse than what he was last year as a rookie. So this regime is going to have to find a way to get him more involved, get that ball out sooner, and try to find plays for him to just move the football around without him constantly getting hit, because he is, like, I believe, one of the most pressured quarterbacks in the league, if not the most pressure, because he's getting hit or sacked or pressured on like 46 or 50, almost 50% of his snaps, maybe even more than that, based on what I've seen. So Bears gonna have to find a way to get that done. Nextly is special teams. Of course, the Bears have a pretty decent special team, especially when it comes down to kickers. Saying what we already seen, the kicker to replace Cairo Santo last week did pretty well. Went 4 for 4. That was pretty damn good. The Bears was able to score. Well, he was the only one person to score last week. So we see what he can bring to the table. But what's next is now we're gonna have to try to see, especially after that muff punt last week, can the kick returners and the punt returners be able to do something more? Because it seems like the Bears is going to be searching for points, and they probably going to have a defensive or special team score in order to be somewhat competitive in this game. And it's going to have to come early to try to break Minnesota Vikings spirit. And then after that, they're going to have to try to score some touchdowns instead of kick all them goddamn field goals, because the Bears was able to get into the red zone 3 times last week, but only left with 3 field goals. If the Bears at least scored 2 touchdowns and kick those 2 field goals like they've been doing, guess what? The Bears and the Giants go to overtime. Ain't no telling what happened. I don't know, but it is what it is. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. But basically, the Bears are gonna have to find some type of way to get things done. I don't know if they will, because Justin Jefferson and Dalvin Cook are just the monsters out there. Kirk Cousins, he may not have a great record against the Bears, but this ain't that same usual Bears team they've been facing. So I'm guessing that he's going to be able to attack this Bears defense and possibly pick it apart. He might not be the fastest quarterback, but he do have enough speed to be able to make this team pay because this team just don't have the horses to be able to compete with Minnesota like they have in years past. So that's what I really do have to say about that. But on to the prediction and the final score. Usually I do two predictions, but basically in order for everything to go right for the Bears, it's gonna have to be a low scoring game. Minnesota can't score no more than 20 points. And the Bears are gonna have to find a way to score more than 20. They only been able to do it so far once this season when they scored 23 points against the Texans. Other than that, what 19 against San Francisco. They even score a lot against the Packers. Yeah, of course, I already mentioned the 23 against the Texans, and then 12 points against Minnesota. So, I mean, not Minnesota, but 12 points against New York Giants. So, the Bears really have not put up a lot of points at all this season. They put up less points this year so far than they have last year. So it seems like everything about them has gotten worse. So hopefully the Bears can find a way to improve that. But finally onto the prediction. Everything for the Bears to do right, like I said, it's probably going to have to be like a 23-20 game for the Bears because Minnesota going to put up points. They're going to drive down the field, but the Bears are going to have to be able to hold them to as little as possible. If not, it's over with. But most likely, this is what I feel is going to happen. Minnesota is going to take it to the Bears. The Bears might get them the first few drives, probably stop on the first few drives, hold Minnesota to either a field goal or stop on the first couple of drives. But after that, especially if the Bears offense remain to be stagnant, like I assume like it's going to be, Minnesota is going to take it to their ass, and Minnesota probably going to put up like 27, 30 points on this Bears team. And the Bears team probably going at most going to score 17 at most. So I'm going to say 27-17 Minnesota. That's my final prediction for that. But hey, man, hopefully things is right, and the Bears is able to put in a good score and try to put in a good effort to actually win the game. But this is Jonah Pimney bringing it back to you, of course, with another sports reaction.
Go Bears!
Bringing it back to you with another sports reaction, of course, doing Chicago Bears talk on the Jonah Pimney podcast. All right, people. Peace out.